We're going to hear about retrust in a paranoid world. And the word came up with David's presentation earlier about the corn seed adoption. The word about trust. Try and trust were two key words in that enablement process that an adopter would go through, and trust is so vital. And when we have it, business is easy. But when we lose it, it's almost impossible to win back. So we're going to hear a lot about the strategic importance of trust in this new paranoid world we're moving into. From Ian Khan, who is a technology futurist. Ian has been a 3 times TEDx speaker. He is an author and technology futurist and is a leading voice in the technology space and author of the book Meaningful Conversations, Cloud Wars, The Internet of Things, A Concise Introduction. We're going to roll a video to give you a sense of what we're going to hear from Ian, and he will join us immediately after the video. Please give your full and undivided attention to the presentation from Ian Khan. Thank you.
Since the dawn of mankind, communication, markets, and civilizations have built themselves upon one thing: trust. All trust is built upon human interactions and relationships.
The point I'm trying to make is that we all are part of this revolution. It doesn't matter if you're a generation X, a generation Y, a boomer, a zoomer, a millennial, or any other classification of a generation. You are, and we all are a part of this revolution.
The incredible advancements in technology are reshaping our world in ways we are only beginning to understand.
Blockchain, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cloud, big data.
The disruptive technologies that surround us have fundamentally changed the way every person on Earth interacts with each other, all delivered on devices that fit into our pockets.
And it's a fact. We carry technology in our pockets as if it didn't matter. But really, the computing power, the access to information is mind-boggling.
Our next presenter, technology futurist and author Ian Khan, will explore with you how these amazing advancements are redefining trust as the new currency in today's global market.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, folks. Thanks a lot for hanging in here. First day of CloudFest. My name is Ian Khan. I'm not here to talk about technology. All of you are here to talk about technology. You'll do that the whole day today, tomorrow, the day after. So I'm going to talk about something different. Something that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. Something that affects you today, tomorrow, and for every other day of your life to come. We'll talk about trust, because trust is the building block of not just business, but everything that we do in life. We use trust at home, we use trust when we are shopping, we use trust in business to make sure our products and solutions help those people for which they are built, our customers, our partners, and so on. So let's talk about that. Forbes magazine says that by the year 2020, we will see disruption that we have not seen for over 500 years. This is specific to one profession, and that's the profession of accounting. The accounting industry, believe it or not, has not changed in the last 500 years. It's the same ledger, it's the same thing that's been ongoing for the last 500 years. So for those of you who are serving the accounting industry as an example, their industry is now changing, and they're facing a big challenge because newer technologies such as blockchain and Bitcoin and a bunch of other things are shaking the grounds of big accounting firms. And you all need to know what's happening. This is the year 2005, one of the biggest events in the entire Christian faith. A new pope needs to be elected. And people take out what is very important for them. It's their phones. They want to take out the phone and capture this moment because they're alive in 2005 and they want to be a witness to this. They want to say to their children and grandchildren, I was there. I took this picture when the new Pope came out. And they want to capture that memory of something so important for them. And some years later, this happened. The year 2013, when the same thing happened, another Pope needed to be elected. But now the way people capture their emotions and capture their life has changed. They're using cell phones, they're using tablets, and really the world has taken a different shape in all these years. And guess who's responsible for that? All of you are. You've made that change because you are the people who work behind the scenes to supply the servers, to supply the DNS, to supply the control panels, the bare metal, the everything that goes behind companies that produce these devices, produce these technologies that consumers use. So all of you are part of that big change that's happening around the world. And you should be proud of that. Now, everything is based on trust. We wouldn't have been able to put these devices out. People wouldn't use these cameras, these cell phones, unless they don't trusted it. So how has the world of trust changed? And why is there a need for something that we call retrust? I really believe that we live in a time where trust is going through a little bit of ups and downs. Through the ages, we've broken trust in many different ways, and that's why we don't trust people around us. Okay, let's do a quiz. How many of you leave your doors open at night before you go to sleep? Okay, a few people leave their doors open. Okay, you trust the world. How many of you give your car to a random stranger and say, hey, drive my car because I know you're going to be okay? Nobody. How many of you keep your money out in the open? Nobody. Because we don't trust the world around us for obvious reasons. There are bad people out there, bad things happen to good people all the time. One of the oldest professions in the world, one of the most trusted professions in the world, is the world of nannies. Really, believe it or not, we trust our newborn babies with nannies because they'll take care of them, they'll feed them, they'll clean them, and we can leave them there for the whole day and say, okay, I'll see you later, honey, and the nanny's going to take care of you because I trust the nanny. But today, we've stopped trusting the nanny, and we use nanny cams. These things watch our kids the entire day, and we have full faith and confidence in technology. In fact, we have cameras that watch nannies that are watching our kids. So trust has changed the way it is. It's changed direction. It's changed the way it typically has been. We trusted banks with our money and we said, hey, Mr. Banker, take all my money, put it in the bank because I trust you. I'll trust you with my savings, with my hard-earned money. Please keep it with you. But now we have something else. We have cryptocurrency. Who's buying Bitcoin? It's almost $10,000 today. Some people, right? It's very interesting because now the definition of what we knew best is changing. We still trust banks a little bit, but we trust cryptocurrency as well because nobody can steal it. Nobody can do anything with it. So I just want you to recognize that the world around us is changing. And because all of you are deep down in those trenches of technology, sometimes it's difficult to see what exactly is happening outside of that world. All of you, I know this industry really, really well. All of you are so intertwined in your work that sometimes you need an external vision to see the broader picture, to see the change that all of you are creating in the world. Last example. Okay, who recognizes all three of these people? It's not the Mel Gibson part that I'm after. Okay, some. So the first one, a part played by Mel Gibson, Sir William Wallace, a revolutionary in Scotland hundreds of years ago. Second, Guevara Che, he led another revolution, did something else. Number three, Malcolm X, revolutionary at heart, and changed many, many things in America. And all these people stand for something. That was change. It was a revolution. It was questioning what was there since many, many years and saying, hey, we're not going to take this anymore because something needs to change. But here we are in 2017, where the memory of these revolutionaries has faded away. It's gone past us. And now we have the smart toilet. The smart toilet, according to these people, is a revolution. Because now the smart toilet can do content analysis, it can do diet suggestions, it can contact your physician. And the best part, my favorite part, is it can track your friends. So we can now have a competition on poop. And this is what technology is bringing to us. It's just changing the way things are. Last but not least, you can also flush using the app. So how has our trust gone into technology? Why do we trust technology so much? What does it do for us? We work in the technology industry, but we still hate some pieces of it. Where many of us question, and I'll show you that slide later on, we question things around technology. Let's do a quick lesson on where we are today. They talk about the fourth industrial revolution. I'm not going to talk about it, because you probably have heard about it so much. But it's all about the fourth industrial revolution, where we went from water and steam to electricity to automation, and now we are in an era of cyber-physical systems, where human beings and machines will connect in a way never ever seen before. How many of you have heard this story before? Okay, many of you, great. But I think there is something bigger than that happening. Something more catastrophic, something more dangerous. And that, my friends, is the fifth industrial revolution. This is the time when artificial intelligence is going to be all around us. It's the time when AI will dictate our lives, the food we eat, the people we sleep with, our families, our children, our education. Literally everything about our lives will be dictated by the fifth industrial revolution, by AI. And some of the possibilities that experts and newspapers and magazines are talking about are just preposterous. They're talking about endless possibilities, a new way to create trust, a new way to create a new world. Some of it is really, really stupid. You could have partners that are robots, okay? I find it really funny, but it's a reality. This could be possible 10, 15, 20 years from now, or even sooner. We could have robot babies. A new way to raise a family where we're having small robot babies that we'll take care of, and those will be our children. But men, please, this is for men. Don't be disappointed, because they're talking about many, many, many other situations and scenarios that just are mind-boggling. This is Jimmy Fallon, and he did a funny thing about it. But if you think behind the scenes, behind all the fun behind these pictures, a reality has started setting into our minds where robotics, AI, artificial intelligence, technology in general is being looked at from an everyday basis. 50 years ago, there used to be advertisements for Hoover, a new Ford car. Just go back and look at advertising from back in the day. Those were the ads. But now this content is consuming our lives, and we're watching it on our cell phones all the time. And it'll be no time before many of these things will become real. The pace at which technology is changing as well is becoming faster. Things are taking less time to go to market, and you all should know it because you're working behind the scenes to making it possible. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, with all of this happening, and I know you guys get this question asked. I know it. So you've designed this brilliant solution. It's a DNS, it's a bare metal, it's a server, it's a software, something, whatever you guys do in your own companies and workplaces. You spend countless hours building it. And you go to your customer, and this customer asks you this question that really angers you a lot. And that question is my information secure? Now, all of you work in the cloud industry. You are the cloud industry, and I know everybody here takes information management seriously. Like, you wouldn't be there doing what you do if all the things you do are not secure. Of course it's secure, to some extent. Everything can be hackable, everything can be broken into, we know that. But you've been working day in and day out trying to create that level of trust with your customer so that they don't have this objection that, is my information secure? And I think that's the biggest challenge everybody faces. Who gets asked that question all the time? Anybody here? Okay, there's one person at the back. So in today's era, where we've worked so hard to create technology that fuels the world, some customers, many customers, or people still don't understand how technology works. How do you create that trust in this world of opposites? How do you just not sell a product, but your product sells automatically with all these objections answered? So I was thinking about trust. What does trust really mean? What does it do? What is it for me? So trust could be about many different things. Trust is about money. Trust is about maybe assets. It's about tangibles. It's valuables. Trust can be applied to so many different things. Emotions are trustable as well. Secrets can be trusted. Reputations need trust. Brands need trust. The image of a person, a company, an organization, a government, a country, it needs trust. Everything is governed by trust. So you can't just say that trust is only with the customer. There's so much complexity behind the idea of creating trust. So one word that I can think of is custody. Trust is about the custody of something and how you keep it, how you break it, how you lose it. So let's try and think about how can we keep that trust. Now, many technologies today are doing an amazing job at building that trust and keeping that trust. These technologies are upcoming, they're developing, you're developing them, your customers are developing them. And I want to do something special today. We're going to take a complex technology and we're going to simplify it. We're going to look at it from a non-technical perspective. Here's a problem that I've generally seen technical people, and I am technical too, that technical people face is that they only see things from a technical perspective many times. And I'm going to shake that today. I'm going to show you a picture that's non-technical, but it still defines the complexity of that thing, in the hope that we're going to learn a new definition, a new way of defining things, so that your customers, your peers, your partners understand you in a different way. Today we need a different way of communicating trust, and so this is an attempt in doing that. So let's talk about 3 core technologies of the future. I'm sure many of you are working on it, but this is my take on it. First one is artificial intelligence. AI seems to be everywhere. AI is in Facebook, it is in Netflix. It powers Amazon, it also powers Siri, and the new Bixby from Samsung. Everything is generally powered by artificial intelligence. So when you go and define this to your customer, you can talk about so many different scenarios and help them understand. But I think we need to recreate the way we sell technology and we communicate technology in order to create that trust, in order to shift that paradigm. Okay, here's the thing. Imagine you're at work one fine day and your boss comes up to you and says, John, Helga, Mary, Sarah, use your first name and imagine this. I'm afraid that we now have AI, and as part of that implementation, your job has been cut into half, or maybe 90%. And you don't need to perform all those tasks that you were performing until now. And AI is going to be doing all those things that it was doing. I want you to go out and think about other things that you can do in your job that AI is not doing. This is still your boss saying to you. I want you to go and get new ideas that AI is unable to process. And you say to yourself, oh my God, I haven't been fired. I'm not losing my job. I'm actually going out to get fresh new ideas. And you run out. And you just say, hey, I'm so free because of AI is giving me this opportunity to think as a human, think as a person. And this is the biggest objection people have with AI. It's going to take my job away. It's going to cut my living in so many different ways. But that's not the truth. The truth is that AI is going to help us and free us so that we can do other things as people. So AI for me is all about freedom. And we should embrace that idea. If any of you is working on AI, you know what I'm talking about. So for me, the idea of building trust with AI, with a customer, with a partner, is about freedom. It's freedom from the chains we have, that we're working on these repetitive tasks every single day, that we can source out to technology that we're building. And we can be free to do whatever else we need to. How many of you are working in the blockchain field to any extent? It's something, anything. Anybody doing anything on blockchain? Okay, we have a few people, great. So blockchain is a technology that nobody understands, but everybody is talking about it. Everybody wants to know more about it. The distributed ledger, the power that goes behind every kind of cryptocurrency. Information cannot be stolen, cannot be deleted. It's recorded permanently in this magic ledger. And all those things are great, but it still doesn't make sense in many, many times when you're talking to people. And there's a new definition that we have for blockchain. Now, blockchain is literally about going here to this place where you have no worries, you've got fresh air, you've got fresh running water, and you've got a beautiful vista where you can think of all the different things that you can do in your life, in your work. You can be creative because you don't have to worry about anybody else stealing anything from you. You can be free, and you don't have to worry about your data being stolen, your information being hacked, and it's literally giving you a lot of peace of mind. And that's what blockchain is about. Blockchain is about creating peace of mind. If you're struggling with making these connections, then that's a good thing, because your technical part is fighting with the emotional part right now. So AI was about freedom. Blockchain is about your free will. Third one, Internet of Things, is complex. Smart cities are part of Internet of Things. Connected cars, space travel, connected shoes. There are so many Internet of Things technologies that it's crazy. All our cell phones are IoT powered. That toilet I showed you is IoT powered. There's just so many, a billion ways to define Internet of Things. But for me, the Internet of Things is about connectivity. It's about this information superhighway that helps us get information from one point to the other. It helps us get data from that device that's out there, sitting in a remote place, to where it needs to be, so that we can use it. We can use AI to do some calculations and predictions. We can use blockchain to secure that information and create value out of it. And for me, Internet of Things is about that information superhighway that super connects everything. Now, I know we're at the end of the day. It's day one, and you all deserve a break. I'm not serving steaks and beer here, but this is happening later tonight. Everything has two good sides. A good steak deserves a good beer, a good drink. So if you think in multiples of two, everything in life has something that complements it. In a similar fashion, I believe every business, every organization has two parts to its success. One is internal and the other is external. If you're an organization that's struggling internally, it's going to be very hard to succeed outside. It's going to be hard to get those customers, retain them, upsell them, make them permanent customers for life, because internally you are not aligned. Maybe internally you're super aligned, but you don't know what to do outside. You're unable to get customers. You're unable to go out and gather the momentum that you should. So we'll look at two different aspects of business, the inside and the outside. And based on what I have seen in the last 20 years, and this is part of my book as well, is what does it really take for companies to be successful? And all of this is about trust. Everything I'm talking about is about creating trust. So there's three things that I want to talk about when it's about internal alignment. It's the trifecta of an organization being successful internally, the internal retrust trifecta. The first one, every organization has to have, must have, is purpose. If you're an organization, you're a leader, you're a person who works there, you don't have a purpose. Now, being financially successful is a great target, it's a great objective, but I don't define it as a purpose. It's not a purpose-driven organization. You're just financially driven. You just want to drive the dollars, which is a must. You have to have that as an organization. But that is not a purpose. That's just a financial goal. A purpose means you really stand for something. It means you want to create positive change. It means you want to serve your customers, your partners, your advocates, your stakeholders, not in the local market, but across every single market that you can serve. It's about addressing the needs of your community. It's about changing the world in ways that you can't even imagine. Now, we have more than 2.5 billion people in the world who do not have access to basic health care. We have over 1 billion people in the world who do not have access to fresh water. They don't have water they can drink. And those are some challenges that we all can contribute to solving. And that's what I'm talking about. We've got to have a purpose to create good, a purpose to create positive change. And that's necessary for anybody to succeed. Number two is people. The people who work within an organization are the most important thing for that organization. If your organization is struggling with taking care of people internally, you will never be able to succeed and serve customers. And so this doesn't mean paying your people extra, paying your employees 10 times more. It's not only about the financial gain. With the new generations coming on board into workplaces, it's more than just money. They're looking for purpose. They're looking for a way to be involved. They're looking for a way to be motivated every single day they go to work. Because the next generation, the newer generations have a different mindset, and it's really great. And so you've got to be able to be people-focused internally to grow them intellectually, technologically, as people, and take care of them in order for them to give back to you so that your organization can drive forward. Number three is process. If you have the right purpose, the right people, you've done everything you can, but you have broken processes, you are going to fail. If you're lazy and you're not building processes because it's just taking too much time, then you're not committed to your business because you're running after something that's far away, but you're not solving the problems that your business has right now. A process-driven organization succeeds. This is a fact. The reason why the military is so organized and people in the armed forces are so organized is because they have processes. And you don't have to be a military person for that, but you've got to start that journey of building processes within your organization. Build a process for sales, build a process for marketing, build a process for customer engagement, build a process for customer onboarding, and everything else that you do. And you've got to be able to modify these processes as you go on. It's a fundamental need of every success-focused business. So if you don't have that, you can start now and start at a basic level and start doing that. Let's talk about the three external things that any successful business organization needs to do in today's era of technology. And what do you need to do to create trust externally? First of all, these are the needs of your customer. And I'm going to talk to you on psychological terms. I'm not a psychologist, but this is literally human psychology and what we should be doing with our customers and what they need from us. The first one is sustain me. This is a cry from our customers to us, to you. that says, hey, take care of me, keep me alive, help me with my problems, help me with my needs, help me because I don't know what I'm doing. So they're looking for an advocate. They're looking for somebody to support them and to go with the extra mile with them. They're not looking for anybody to come in, sell the solution, take a check, and go. You've got to hang in there through their onboarding. You've got to be the best friend of your customer if you really want them a customer to be a customer for life. And unless you're able to do that, you will not succeed in the long term. You might get the sale, but then the customer will never look back because you did not take care of them. You did not sustain them for too long. You just kept them alive. You gave them a Band-Aid. Number 2 is protect me. Customers are looking for protection, literally. They're looking for protection because they don't know what to do in the times of threat. And there are many different threats to business today. And they want you to be on their side. They want you to protect them from not just cyber attacks. This is not about that. But it's about protecting their interest and their business to the best of your ability. And this is a fundamental need that organizations have today. Last but not least is add value. Customers want you to add much more value than they bargained for, than they paid for. If you're selling them a product or a solution, that's fantastic. But if you add extra value on top of that, if you stay in their ring forever, that customer will be yours for the rest of their life because you're adding more value than they're paying you for. They pay you X amount of dollar, but you add 10 times more of that, not by giving them free stuff, but by protecting them, sustaining them, helping them with other things. Just be a trusted advocate for them. And there's a reason why it's called the trusted advocate, because it's based on trust. How many of us are actually doing that on an everyday basis? And those 3 are literally the needs of a customer. When you apply these things to a model, it comes out in a complex way where we talk about engagement, accountability, learning, partnership, rewards, value creation within organizations, and this is a full framework that develops into actual tangible steps and programs that organizations and companies can implement. So that's kind of the part of that. I'm not going to go through that, but this is something that we do on my side. The world of tomorrow, my friends, is going to be very complex. We are creating that world. We are literally fueling those companies through technology, the companies that are changing the world. The Teslas of the world that are going to the moon are not just doing things in a garage and building these things. No, they're using your equipment, your solutions, your software to create something different and to do that. To go to Mars, Elon Musk is not going to just fly. He needs an infrastructure that you're providing. He needs technology. So the world of tomorrow is going to be complex. Here's the proof. By 2025, we will have the Hyperloop that will transport us at a speed that we've never seen before. From here to Paris is maybe 15 minutes. And that's crazy. Smartphones will be obsolete by 2025. So all of you who love your smartphones, they're not going to be there forever. We will be smartphone-less, which is great. Driverless cars by 2030. We'll probably be on Mars by 2030. Virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality will replace universities, schools, institutions by 2030. You will be at home in your pajamas, going to Harvard and doing your master's degree. And you'll be doing that at home, and so on and so forth. All of these things are happening right now. And the end of fossil fuels by 2050, so no dependence on energy, and everything is connected. All of these things are connected. By 2050, we will be a race that has a machine part. It's the mind revolution. Man and machine become one. We will be a neural race. And these things people are talking about, these things are predicted. So they will happen for sure. How do we live in this world? How do we find our place? How do we recreate that trust with not just our customers, but everybody around us to kind of be where the world is going? I'm going to leave you with a quick thought, is where to go from here. What should I do about everything? It's driving me insane. There's so much going on. And you might have questions. And my suggestion to you, my recommendation to you is focus on one thing, that is building trust. Even if you have to let go of a sale sometime, you have to focus on building trust, not just at work, but in your entire life. That's the fundamental thing that we hold as people to be able to be successful and to create value. Use some kind of a system, a methodology, whether it's project management, it's agile, it's one of those things. Adopt it for your business, incorporate it to create processes, to achieve excellence in your workplaces. And that's how you will succeed, and execute relentlessly. Do not give up when you fail the first time. You see, that's what we do very easily. We give up very easily when we fail. So don't give up. I thank you for your time today, and I hope I've left you with something. I'm also going to leave you with something else. I'm giving away a digital copy of my upcoming book to everybody at CloudFest. You can go to my website at that URL at the bottom, iancon.com/CloudFest 2018. You will receive a copy of my book next month. You'll also get access to a six series of videos about value creation and explaining everything that's in my book, and a few other business transformation resources. There's no charge, and it's all my compliments to you, and I hope you find it useful in order to create change in your businesses and your workplaces. Thank you so much, and enjoy CloudFest. It's my honor to be here and serve you. Thank you, and please drink responsibly. Thank you.
Ian Khan, ladies and gentlemen. Ian, stay here. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Great presentation, very inspiring, very energizing for the end of the day before we start our nocturnal activities. You travel around the world talking to groups with your message around change and transformation and building trust in the new world. Do you see a difference between the different countries you travel and the cultures of those countries, the national cultures, of their ability to be open and receptive to these ideas, or some that are quicker to adopt and move forward and others that perhaps aren't?
I think every country that I go to, and I travel a lot, everybody has different cultural nuances to them. The culture is different, people respond in a different way. But I think one thing is common between everybody, that everybody responds to trust. When you do the things that create trust within that culture, within that country, within that environment, people respond back with that. So it's important in today's age and time to know local country traditions and how business is done. But I believe that once you're on the right track and you're getting in with the idea of let me establish trust and let me help them achieve something and create value, you will get a great response back. And that works really well.
Great key to global domination, ladies and gentlemen. Trust is that common denominator that will work everywhere. Very powerful message. Thank you, Ian.
You're very welcome.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.